Hey everyone, Kaveris here, bringing you a quick guide to Ifrit on hard mode. Got a full list of everything that Ifrit does in the comments below. I'm just going to be talking about more of the do's and don'ts and things that I've seen puppies do that you really shouldn't be doing on this fight, just to make it a little bit easier on everyone and get you that kill. Now the best group setup you're going to want to make this as easy as possible is to have at least one Paladin and one Black Mage / Summoner. But you're going to want the Paladin to interrupt the eruptions whenever they happen. If you watch the limit break bar, you'll see an eruption get interrupted and you get a huge chunk of limit break. And this is very important for the nail phase that pops up at around 50%. The Summoner / Black Mage is important because without the meteor limit break, it's possible but pretty difficult to actually burn down all of the nails in the time limit required. If you miss any of the nails in this phase, it's just like the normal mode Ifrit where he jumps up, kills you, and you have to start again. Now if you've got a group set up like we've got here with two Marauders, it's a lot more difficult to tell which eruptions they're going to be able to catch and which they aren't. The best way to deal with that is just to keep on moving for a little bit at least when an eruption goes out. If they don't catch it, you'll at least be moving and avoid the brunt of the damage. If they do catch it, you can just stop straight away and get back to doing what you're doing. Now you'll see a little bit later, eruption actually hits me and it's not interrupted, and I run in a really terrible place. You never want to run in front of Ifrit at all on this fight. The frontal fire cone that he does hits for a lot of damage, and his frontal cleave also hits for about 1,000 or so. So you never want to find yourself down there at all. This is especially important on his dash phases. You never really want to hide where the tank is hiding, and if you are hiding there, you want to get out as soon as possible. Alright, so when you see that message pop up on your screen, that's when the fight's into its next phase and Ifrit gains a new attack called Plume. He's always gonna do his repulse fire thingy when that happens first, so don't run in immediately, but you'll see that he surrounds the entire outer edge of the arena in explosions, and you are going to want to come inside to avoid those. A little bit later you'll see that he surrounds the inner area of the arena with explosions. You want to go to the outside. This is going to happen right up until about 50% or so. Also at around this point he should have two illusions of him doing the dash attack instead of one, so you're going to have that to worry about as well. Okay, now when you see him say this is when the fight gets interesting, and it really comes down to what classes you've got in your group. If you've got a black mage like we do here, actually no, it's a summoner, you're gonna see the easy way to deal with this, but the hard way is to have one of your melee DPS hit one of the nails immediately with a limit break. Have everyone else kill another. Once two of them are dead, you should have one bar of limit break to hit the third one, and then you just got a DPS, and I hope you have enough to kill all the nails before he does his Inferno attack and either kills you all or just hits you for a huge chunk of damage depending on how many nails you're missing. But as you can see here with Meteor, it's fairly simple. Just drop it, make sure you hit them all. You've got plenty of time if you're the guy dropping the Meteor to make sure the bubble's going to hit everything. It doesn't really matter if you get Ifrit in there or not, the more important thing is to make sure you get all the nails. Now once they're all dead, you're going to see that he'll jump up and use Inferno. If you've got a Scholar, make sure you drop one of your bubbles in the middle and have everyone sit in there. It'll still gonna hurt, but you're gonna block a little bit of that damage at least. Now you'll see a couple of people here that do something that always is, it's just the bane of all public groups. Don't, if your tank comes in, if it's gonna drop down and immediately go for whoever had the highest threat on him, and you don't want to be standing anywhere near the tank because you're just going to get cleared by something, or he's going to refire on you, and that's going to be a bad day. It's not the end of the world if your DPS dies. This isn't exactly a DPS race, it's more an endurance test, so get him up when you can. I find the best phase to actually do resurrects is when he's doing his dash, but on the subject of resurrects, and I've seen this happen a lot in groups, make sure if you're getting resurrected you have a look to see what your healer is and where they're standing, because that's where you're going to get up. Then you're going to be animation locked for a few seconds while you're getting up, and then any AoEs that are underneath you while you're in that animation are going to hit you and more than likely kill you. So the healer's resurrecting you on the outside, you're going to want to wait for the outer plumes to go off before accepting it. That will save your healers a huge amount of mana and time, and just save your group some frustration as well from seeing someone die 4 or 5 times like I have. Now at this point of the fight you pretty much should have it won, provided everyone understands the few changes to plume. You've probably seen the third area that it blocks off, which is basically the entire arena except a tiny little bit around Ifrit. The pattern for this is always the same. He always goes outside, inside, and then he'll use Erupt, which really needs to be interrupted in this phase, otherwise very bad things happen. And after the Erupt, everyone should just come stack behind him and then stand in the little area that isn't covered by explosions. And then it's just rinse and repeat. After that point, it's just that over and over and over until you get him down. But the majority of wipes that I've actually seen happen after this 50% phase, and it's usually because of missed interrupts. So whoever you have on interrupts, if it's you, you really need to be on top of it and make sure you're getting all of the erupts and nothing else. Now the last point in this fight is really what you should use your limit break on, and I've been thinking that you've probably got enough time to blow it straight away and then have it full again towards the end of the fight to be able to use it on something else. But most groups tend to want to hold on to it till about 5% or so, just in case you need a healer resurrect if too many people die. And that is a pretty good thing to do, because I have seen that healer resurrect save a lot of wipes that were, it was just going to go bad, and then a really good healer resurrect got everyone up. With the healer resurrect, however, you're going to want to do it at the same time, either during the dash phase or just before the outer plumes hit. People tend to die around the outside of the arena, and the resurrect, when it hits you from the level 3 limit break, hits instantly. And you don't want to resurrect people with that limit break into something they're not going to be able to avoid. So you just want to make sure, if you're the one doing that, to just double check what's going to happen and where everyone's going to be. You see a pretty good use of it here. The healer got it at a very good time, and everyone, except one person I think, got up. But that's pretty much all there is to this fight. If you've gotten to this point and everyone understands the patterns, If your erupts are right and you have enough people alive that are healers and tanks, you should be pretty good. I'll just leave the rest of the fight here so you can see how it goes. It gets pretty hectic. A lot of people do keep dying, and we do our best to keep them up, but we do eventually get them in the end.